Welcome to FILMWAR. Let's cut the shit. This is a movie games podcast, so every second not spent playing movie games is a second wasted. Today we're remembering the life and career of Paul Reubens. Beloved actor most famously known for playing Pee Wee Herman. Tragically, Paul lost his secret battle with cancer last night at the age of 70. In his honor, tonight's prize is Big Top Pee Wee, the sequel to his beloved classic Big Adventure. Tonight we have Brent, tonight we have Ryan, tonight we have Kyle, three supposed fans of Pee Wee Herman, Paul Reubens. How do you guys feel tonight?
Well, we lost a great actor, a great creator of characters, and a big part of our cinematic experience growing up and even into adulthood. So I feel melancholy about it, but I'm not going to have to go to, a psychiatrist or anything.
He apparently had cancer for quite a while, didn't tell anybody about it. That seems to be a common thing among celebrities these days. There have been a lot of celebrities that hide that from the public. Would you?
I'd probably hide it from people now.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I think I would just because, if Paul loved his job and what he's done, anything that makes it like less of an impact because his characters are always people to bring about. Usually, except like the one on Blow. That's Blow, right?
It's Blow. Yeah, of course.
Except that one. But most of the time, he played someone that's really tries to make the mundane, boring, monotonous things of life be exciting and wonderful. So, I could see why you wouldn't tell anybody.
I have to assume people that grew up with Mr. Rogers felt the same way that I felt today about Paul Reubens' death that they felt about Fred Rogers when he passed. He really was an inspiration as a child. A lot of the show, of course, the movies he was in. I remember I was super into Batman Returns when it came out, and that was like the first time I had seen him in anything else. It's really the first time I'd seen an actor in something else that wasn't set around that actor, like the first cameo, really, that I remember recognizing. And I remember being so excited that he was Penguin's dad. That was so cool to me.
So you brought up the movie Big Top Pee Wee, and a lot of people grew up watching Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Back when we were kids, you didn't really have a choice. You watched whatever video you had, but we always had Big Top Pee Wee, and I was just watching that, and it still holds up. It's a great movie. It's almost a drama about a love triangle between Pee Wee and two women, and a circus just is good as it shares of quirks, but.
Yeah, I always felt the second one got a bad rap. I thought it was maybe not just as good as the first one, but it's definitely got some good things in it. So back in '92, he got busted for doing stuff in adult theater. When I was maybe 5, 6 years old at that point, I had heard that Pee Wee Herman had been arrested. But so I asked my mother, what did Pee Wee Herman do to get arrested? And she told me, oh, they caught him washing his hair in a grocery store and he hadn't paid for the shampoo.
Well,
that was her way of
explain that.
Yeah.
I've heard a wide variety of rumors about what happened. I just looked up what actually happened too. I don't think it makes him a bad person. He was in an adult place doing an adult thing that everyone knows happens.
Wasn't like a McDonald's play place or something.
Yeah, right. It wasn't in some place. Yeah,
I think there's
probably
a
were kids
question of
around.
whether it even happened at all.
Oh, really? You think it was Hollywood was trying to bring him down?
They have said Pee Wee's camp has said before that they had evidence. I don't know whatever came of that, but that's where the penny cartoon from his show became that PSA for drug use was part of his punishment.
Oh, really? They had co-opted it?
I think we also have to remember during that time the sexual abuse was rampant in the Catholic Church, and AIDS was being ignored daily, and all this guy was doing was practicing safe sex in an adult movie theater if he was at all.
Yeah, and they got him. Yeah.
And then we got some good cartoon PSA drug cartoons out of it. So
did he do the crack one before?
And it didn't take him under. It didn't take him under.
No, it didn't. It propelled him, if anything. I always think about his. Did you ever see when he came on the MTV Video Music Awards? I believe. Right after the arrest, and he comes out and says, "Heard any good jokes lately?" That was. I remember seeing that as a kid.
He made a lot of friends in Hollywood, and there's a reason for that, I believe. So.
Just the character that he made, the Pee Wee's Playhouse. Not many people create a universe in the cinematic world. Very few. I mean, most of the time it's directors, but Pee-wee had his own world set around him.
Originally that was an adult stage show.
Correct.
It's definitely entertaining for all ages.
So yeah, we're sad here tonight. We're just going to play a few couple games tonight. This is a mini-sode, not a full episode, and all questions tonight have something to do with a film that Paul Reubens was in. So let's get into it.
This game is called Genre Feud.
Our first game is Genre Feud. I'll be naming 3 films from a specific genre, and you will guess which had the highest budget and which had the highest worldwide income theatrically. The first genre of films that we have are films featuring Paul Reubens that also feature animals. These are 3 films that feature Paul Reubens in some capacity, and those 3 films we're going to choose from are Buddy from 1997, Dunstan Checks In from 1996, and Dr. Dolittle from 1998. Let's start with Brent. Have you seen any of these films?
I've seen Dunstan and Dr. Dolittle.
Did you enjoy any of these films?
I mean, Dr. Dolittle, that was when Eddie Murphy was at his height.
Yeah, it has its moments, for sure. Yeah.
Dunstan, whatever. I mean, everybody likes watching monkeys do shit.
Right?
And look, I mean, there's monkeys on, there's monkeys on 3. I don't even know what that Buddy one is.
There is a monkey, some sort of primate on every single poster, yes.
Right, yeah. Are we doing budget hot or budget?
Yeah, we're looking for the highest budget of these 3 films. Brent, which one are you saying?
That's got to be Doolittle, right?
Brent's saying Dr. Dolittle had the highest budget. Ryan, what do you say?
I'm gonna also say Doolittle just because of the amount of CGI at the time. Like any CGI at the time was like had to have a lot of money, and you got Eddie Murphy, so I think.
Okay, good logic. Kyle, what are you saying? Which film had the highest budget between these 3 films?
I think Dr. Dolittle. I think Eddie Murphy was expensive at that time, and all the animation was probably expensive too.
All 3 of our contestants are choosing Dr. Dolittle from 1998, and they all get a point for it. $72 million it took to make Dr. Dolittle, $25 million to make Rene Russo's Buddy, and $16 million to make Dunstan Checks In. Now, I'm looking at these posters. It says Buddy is based on a true story. That seems strange.
I mean, based is really
what's the premise?
I believe she accepts. It is kind of like Dr. Dolittle, but she doesn't talk to them. I believe, maybe, I don't know. I have seen it, but it's been a long time. Probably not since 1997.
I thought this was going to be one of those trick ones, and it was going to be like Dunstan Checks In with $120 million.
Right? Yeah, that monkey got a lot of bread.
Fucking Dunstan. Yeah. Dunstan was a talented little guy.
Yeah. Do you think Dunstan was the same one that was in like Ed with Matt LeBlanc? Right. I don't know. I'm going too
I think he was in a Christmas movie, too. I think he was in
When you start overthinking animal movies, that's when you're running into how many dead animals are just...
oh, no. Milo notice. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Air Bud.
Surely dead. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But he got to live off that NBA money for quite some time, though. So, all right. Highest worldwide income theatrically. Ryan, which one do you think brought in the most money of these 3 films? Buddy, Dunstan Checks In, and Dr. Dolittle.
This has to be the trick one.
I think it has to be. Like I'm thinking worldwide, like maybe Doolittle had like more advertising in the US and that was the main market and that's all they cared about. And then I could see Buddy being like marketed somewhere in Europe or something.
I mean, it's got Rene Russo and it's from Jim Henson Pictures, according to this poster.
And Canada too.
Who's Paul playing Buddy?
In Buddy, Paul plays Professor Spatz.
What's the name?
Yeah, he's got, I have his filmography right here with his actors, or his characters' names listed. There's a lot of funny names in here. Professor Spatz, Arvid Henry, Derek For Real, where were the other ones? Oh, Buck Lafarge. That's from Dunstan Checks In, Buck Lafarge.
That's hilarious. Man, I don't know, though, because like Dr. Dolittle was like a big movie at the time. And it's Eddie Murphy in the late 90s, so I don't know. I'm going to maybe regret this, but I'll say Doolittle, the same answer, I think.
Ryan's sticking with Dr. Dolittle from 1998, or Kyle, what do you say?
Dolittle.
Kyle's also saying Doolittle. What do you say, Brent?
I'm going to go with Dunstan. Dunstan Checks In.
Brent's going with Dunstan Checks In.
Loved it in Mongolia.
And the answer is Dr. Doolittle brought in $294 million. Both Buddy and Dustin Checks In brought in $10 million apiece.
I lost by a lot.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I thought you guys were starting to see through, but yeah, whatever. All right, the next genre of films that also feature Paul Reubens are midnight movies. Those films you have to choose from are Cheech and Chong's Next Movie from 1980, Meatballs Part 2 from 1984, and The Blues Brothers from 1980, which isn't exactly a midnight movie, but close enough. I don't give a shit. You want to tweet me? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Kyle, which one of these three films do you think had the highest budget?
Excellent.
Blues Brothers. They had all those car chases and everything.
Kyle's saying Blues Brothers. Brent, what do you say?
Yeah, I think Blues Brothers.
Brent's also saying Blues Brothers. Ryan, what do you say?
There's a reason I think that movie is so big as now. I mean, they're all okay, but I think Blues Brothers too.
3 for Blues Brothers. Everybody gets a point. $28 million it took to make Blues Brothers, $5 million to make Meatballs Part 2, and $3 million to make Cheech and Chong's Next Movie. No surprises there, I don't think. Now we're going to worldwide income. Brent, back to you. Which film do you think brought in the most money?
It's got to be Blues Brothers.
Brent saying Blues Brothers. Kyle, what do you say?
Blues Brothers.
Ryan, what do you say? You hopping on this train?
Yeah, that jump by the Calumet Fisheries thing. I mean, just stuff like that throughout that movie. It's got to be Blues Brothers.
All 3 of our contestants are saying Blues Brothers, and they all get another point for it. Blues Brothers brought in $115 million. Cheech and Chong's Next Movie brought in $42 million, and Meatballs Part 2 brought in $5 million. Okay, we have one more genre we'll be playing for, and that is movies featuring Paul Reubens, but only his voice. Not his face or his body or his hands or anything, or his spirit. I guess his spirit is if it's his voice, but whatever. Here are the 3 films you can choose from. Flight of the Navigator. Brent, you just watched this one today, correct?
Yep. This morning, or this afternoon.
Flight of the Navigator.
I fast forwarded through the beginning.
Okay. Flight of the Navigator from 1986, The Smurfs from 2011, and The Nightmare Before Christmas from 1993. Surely you like one of these films, Kyle, right?
Yeah, I'm a big Nightmare Before Christmas fan. I can't think of who Paul Reubens is or what he did in that movie, though.
In Nightmare Before, he plays
Doctor, dude?
Locke.
He plays Locke.
He's the doctor?
Yes, he does.
No, Locke. He's one of the little 3 minions.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's him, Catherine O'Hara, and I forget who the third one is, but yeah.
Smurfs is the one I'm not sure of.
In Smurfs, he plays the voice of
PH.
Jokey Smurf.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense, right?
unusual.
Yeah. All
I don't
right,
know if
Kyle.
I've watched that in the entirety. If anyone here has not seen Flight of the Navigator, I suggest you turn off your TVs after this and go watch it.
Yeah, please do not turn it off in the middle of this episode.
Actually,
but after this episode,
you
please.
probably have to keep your TV on, but
So yeah, as someone that lives in a TV, I would think you'd always want to leave the TV on.
Yeah, don't turn me
no,
off.
not always.
Turn on that TV, folks.
I need
All right,
Brent
Kyle.
time.
Kyle, which one of these films had the highest budget?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Kyle's saying Nightmare Before Christmas. Ryan, what do you say?
I mean, if you've seen it, I have to pick Nightmare Before Christmas just because, like, all the stuff going on with just, like, the music production, one, and then just, if you look at how they made the movie, it's just so time-intensive. So
That's
like,
the music of Danny Elfman, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Boingo, boingo.
Oingo Boingo, of course. His claim to fame.
If you want to listen to
All right.
Skellington sing pop, go to that.
Kyle and Ryan are both saying Nightmare Before Christmas. Brent, do you agree with them, or you choose something different?
I just want to say that sometimes I have to wash my hair with shampoo,
Okay.
so keep the TV off.
Sometimes.
My mother would love that joke.
I want to say Nightmare Before Christmas. That's probably what I'm going to say. But there's some ridiculous notion that I could see the Smurfs having some bloated ass fucking budget.
Yeah, me
Right.
too. I was
But
thinking that.
I'm going to go with Nightmare.
3 for Nightmare Before Christmas. Brent, you should have chose the Smurfs. Smurfs took $110 million to make. It's live action and animated. You have to think about that.
Yes.
Nightmare Before Christmas, only $18 million to make that movie, which is surprising, especially with what you guys are saying about music. The stop motion is very intensive, but I imagine without having to I don't actually create those scenes outright. Anyway, Flight
stop
Navigator only
motion
brought in
being
$9 million. No
But that
points.
was, that was 1986 money.
Right, and that was all done in camera.
Right.
Okay, now we're going to worldwide theatrical gross. Ryan, which one of these 3 films brought in the most money?
Plus, it was shot in space.
Shot in space,
Yeah,
of course,
it was
with
on
real
location.
aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, now that I think about it, like when Nightmare came out, I remember it being like, in my neck of the woods, it was like, this movie's like, no nice kids would watch this because of it's like, oh, it's gross looking to a lot of people.
It was a goth movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's like I've been tainted, I think, of like how popular it is now. Like I feel like it was really popular then, but maybe the gross wasn't that good. So I don't know. Maybe the Smurfs because of some dumb like marketing thing ended up being like a bad movie. Like, I'm gonna say Smurfs. I don't know.
Ryan's saying the Smurfs because he doesn't believe in the goodwill of the world. Brent, what do you say?
I mean, I'm kind of on the fence where Ryan is. And I was hoping that they would go first so I could choose the opposite or something. But, I don't know. I got it. Nightmare still had to take it. I'm going Nightmare.
Brent's saying Nightmare Before Christmas. Kyle, what do you say?
I'm saying the Smurfs because of inflation and only inflation.
And Ryan are saying the Smurfs brought in the most money. Brent's saying the Nightmare Before Christmas did, and Brent and Ryan both get a point. $564 million the Smurfs brought in. Nightmare Before Christmas only brought in $91 million, theatrically, of course. And Flight of the Navigator only brought in $19 million.
I should point out that Brent chose Nightmare Before Christmas, and I chose the Smurfs, actually. You said Brent and Ryan.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah, I gave you the right point, though. Kyle and Ryan both get a point. Brent does not.
Okay. And don't forget it.
Just swearing that away.
The veil has been pulled back.
At the end of Genre Feud, Kyle and Ryan are tied with 5 points apiece. Brent has 3 points.
Oh, well.
Uh-oh.
We all got to die someday.
Today's secret word is sad.
This game is called High-Low.
All right, this is high-low. In this game, you'll each be guessing whether the average rating for a film on Letterboxd is higher or lower than 3.5 stars. You'll each have a chance to guess, and you can all receive points for each film. 3.5 stars is the line for every question. Let's get right into it. These are all Paul Reubens films that Paul Reubens appears in. Our first film is from 1992, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She knows a sucker when she sees one.
Nobody better pick low for any of these.
Kyle, which one do you say? You saying higher or lower for Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Higher.
Kyle's saying higher. Ryan, what are you saying?
Did this come out before the series or after?
Yes. This was before the series.
He should be kicked off for asking.
Kyle and Ryan are both
Table or anything.
Put Ryan in the TV.
Oh, he's getting there.
Higher.
Kyle and Ryan both choosing higher. Brent, what are you saying?
Higher.
Brent, Kyle, Ryan, all saying higher. Nobody gets points. 2.8 stars on Letterboxd for Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's
Criminally
actually
low.
surprises
This
me.
film is fantastic.
I don't know why I'm upset. I haven't seen it.
It's not a Letterboxd dream movie.
Yeah, Paul Reubens is the best part of this movie, though. Kyle, you said you've never seen it.
I've never seen it. No.
He has this. He has this scene where he's a vampire, right? And he gets staked, but he gets staked kind of like haphazardly. So he has a really long death sequence. Brent, would you like to act it out for us? That's close.
I feel like Letterboxd is the kind of crowd they like movies that are 3.5 hours. Those type of movies.
Right.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised. Even for Letterboxd, I'm surprised with that one. I actually did like the guy from 90210 in that too, Luke Perry.
Luke Perry, yeah. On to our next film. That film is from 2007, Reno 911 Miami.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you think this is higher or lower than 3.5 stars according to the users on Letterboxd?
Because the Letterboxd, normally I want to say low for this movie. If only the reason I'm going to say high is just because of how popular Reno 911 was as a comedy then. And I mean, you got like characters like Dangle
it's just such a good
Name all the characters.
cast. I don't know, Dangle, the other Dangle, the Dangle with the woman hair. Yeah.
Black Dangle, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Of course, absolutely. But yeah, I say hi. I'm gonna say hi.
Ryan is saying higher. Kyle, what do you say?
Lower.
Kyle's saying lower. Brent, what are you saying?
Hi.
Brent is also saying high. Brent and Ryan saying high. Kyle saying lower. Kyle gets a point. 3.0 stars on Letterboxd, according to the users.
If they don't like Buffy, they're not going to like Reno 911. I don't know.
I don't know. It did so much for film. What are you talking about?
It did win an Oscar that year, I believe, right? Technical.
really?
No, I have no fucking. No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
Reno
Okay, we got one more
911,
film in high
they
low.
tried so hard. They were like the Super Troopers TV show. They came out around the same time. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you watch any of the newer ones? They've brought it back like 2 or 3 times now. It's never been any good.
I haven't watched
The newer
any
ones, yeah.
since
They did a
then,
pandemic
so-
one, I believe. They did a QAnon one, I believe. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
The last film in high low for this game is from 1985, and it is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Just hi.
Brent,
Hi.
is everybody saying high on this?
No, I'm saying low.
Kyle's
Sorry.
saying low. Brent and Ryan are saying high.
Large Marge will be there.
I can't connect with Letterboxd people. I don't know.
I'll fucking leave the room.
It is lower, 3.4
Fuck this
stars.
I knew it.
What is going?
Just
Kyle
the
gets a
opposite of what
point.
you think, and that's what Letterboxd picks.
Yeah, I was very bummed out when I saw this one.
Kyle's a plant for Letterboxd.
I bet, but by this time tomorrow, probably by this time this episode comes out, it will be above. Just because the way, now that he's passed away, the people go on there and change it.
Actually, going back.
Somehow the movie gets a little better. And
Right,
they
yeah.
all
Now he's
realize
gone.
it
Yeah.
at the same time.
The same thing happened with Ray Liotta. I noticed there was a couple of movies that I had written down for this game, and then after he passed, they all jumped up. Like 0.23 points, all of them. Anyway. All right, that is the end of high-low. At the end of that game, Kyle's in the lead with 7 points. Ryan has 5. Brent has 3.
I'm happy.
Of course you're happy. You're in the lead.
How many? Has who?
How do you know?
Kyle has 7. Ryan has 5. Brent has 3. Brent, you really have to run the board here to win this, so pay attention.
This game is called Meetings and Failures in Meetings.
This is Meetings and Failures in Meetings. I'm going to give you 2 titles that the movie was released under in foreign markets. One is real, one is fake. Each of you will tell me which one is real. Starting it off, our first movie is from 2001. It is Blow. Your 2 titles are The White Dream from Romania or Sniff from Denmark. Kyle, which one do you think is the real title of these 2 films?
The White Dream.
Kyle's saying The White Dream is the correct title. Brent, what do you say?
Sniff.
Yeah.
Brent saying Sniff. Ryan, what are you saying?
I got it. That sounds like a name. I think
saying
they
Sniff?
tried to keep it to be like a one-word name. If it's Denmark, I don't know if it's like I don't know. I say Sniff.
Okay, Ryan and Brent are saying Sniff. Kyle's saying The White Dream, and the answer is The White Dream from Romania. Kyle gets another point.
Hooray.
He's so happy.
Now, outside of Pee Wee Herman, I would say that this is Paul Reubens' favorite role of mine. Like, he does a really good job in this picture. And it was the first time where I think you really got to see his dramatic beats. And he was good at it.
Yeah, and it's nice to see him play a darker role because, Pee Wee's the total opposite of anything dark. And then Blow, he's like this kind of grizzled old drug dealer. And it shows a whole range in his acting.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was really his resurgence back into Hollywood. He had a couple bad years there after his arrest and couldn't really get anything going. And then this came out and he kind of started to work his way back in.
Yeah.
Okay, our next film in Meetings and Failures Meetings is Life During Wartime, the Todd Solondz classic. I don't know if you call it a classic. This is a sequel to Happiness, if you've ever seen Happiness. The 2 titles you can choose from are Difficult People in Difficult Times from Japan or From Forgiveness to Oblivion from Spain. Brent, we're going to start with you. Which one of these 2 titles do you think is the correct one?
Japan.
Brent saying Difficult People in Difficult Times from Japan is correct. Kyle, what do you say?
From Forgiveness to Oblivion.
Kyle's saying From Forgiveness to Oblivion is the correct title. Ryan, what are you saying? We've got one on either side. You're going to split the vote.
I'm splitting it towards España, so it's that one.
You're saying From Forgiveness to Oblivion. The correct title is From Forgiveness to Oblivion. Both Kyle and Ryan get a point.
I'm so happy and not because I'm on weed.
Oh man, this
I'm sad.
is crack.
I'm sad Paul Reubens is dead. Our last film in Meetings and Failures and Meetings is Mystery Men from 1999. I just recently bought this on 4K Blu-ray, and it was tremendous. The two titles you can choose from are The Supposed Heroes from France or Saving Captain Amazing from Brazil. Kyle, let's start with you. Which film do you think is the correct title?
I'm going to say The Supposed Heroes.
Kyle is saying The Supposed Heroes. Ryan, what do you say?
I think that's it too, the French one.
Ryan saying The Supposed Heroes. Brent, what are you saying?
Brazil.
Brent is saying Saving Captain Amazing. 2 for Supposed Heroes, 1 for Saving Captain Amazing, and Kyle and Ryan both get a point. The Supposed Heroes was the correct title in France.
I'm so happy, but a reasonable amount, given the circumstances and the theme of the show.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Appropriate.
At the end of Meetings and Failures and Meetings, Kyle is in the lead with 10 points. Ryan, 7 points. Brent, 3. Still at the back. Like he likes it.
Shampoo.
Oh my goodness.
This game is called Dreamcast.
Our last game is Dreamcast. We're going to play a variation of this game today. For tonight's Dreamcast, you will each choose 2 roles from any movie that you think Paul Reubens should have been cast in. If you think he should have been Mrs. Doubtfire, perfect. If you think he should have been cast as Batman, good, let's hear it. You will get a point for each film that reaches the consensus of all of us. If we all agree, you will get a point. Who would like to start us off?
I'll start.
Kyle, what role would you have cast Paul Reubens in if you had the chance?
Truman and the Truman Show.
Oh.
Truman Show. That's some pretty heavy acting chops.
Yeah, and I think the whole aesthetic of the fake, little house and the fake neighborhood and the fake studio would really kind of... Are we frozen?
No, you're still going.
Smoke another one.
Do you
Tash.
think? Do you think he would have gotten nominated for that one?
No, I don't think so.
He couldn't have pulled that off.
You know, okay. So, Brett, are you saying no then?
Not to Truman, no. Maybe not the main character. I could see him in that film somewhere. Maybe as the friend.
Okay, yeah,
The drinking buddy.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Brent's putting a veto on that one. I should have given everybody one veto. How about that? Everybody gets one veto. Brent, that's your veto.
Well, who knows if I'd have used it if I'd known that.
Okay, fine.
I veto you. I veto this TV.
Number 5.
I veto life.
I veto life, did you say?
I sure did. I'm the president.
Veto, more like veto.
Okay, so Brent's saying he doesn't see him as Truman. So, Kyle, I'm afraid I can't give you a point for that one. Brent,
okay.
spotlight's on you. Which
so
role?
we have to all have a general consensus, like literally.
Yeah.
Oh man, is that even going to happen?
Let's pull it back. Let's pull it back. All right, maybe I didn't think about this. So let's 3 out of 4 votes. You have to get 3 out of 4 votes to get a point.
Luke Skywalker.
Right, so, hold on a second. I'm going back. You have to get 3 out of 4 points to get a point. Ryan, do you think that Paul Reubens would have made a good Truman Burbank in The Truman Show?
If the show was so much of a...
I don't want it. Just tell me yes or no.
Overall...
If there was a bicycle and a talking chair, maybe.
Now, there is a bicycle. There is a bicycle in that film.
Is.
And, yeah.
There's bikes in a lot of films.
I could see him more in maybe...
Let's just put him in every movie with a bike.
Yeah, right.
Too furious.
Okay, Ryan, I'm hearing no. Are you saying no?
Yes, no. I couldn't see it.
So
you change so many things.
We are saying no to Truman Burbank. Okay, Kyle, you will have another chance to get another point. Brent, let's go with you. What role would you have cast Paul Reubens in?
Luke Skywalker.
Luke fucking Skywalker. Okay.
He would have had fun with the Jawas. I don't know. And all the
Let's
droids,
pick.
like,
Let's pick one film. Are you talking about A New Hope, the first one?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we'd have to go with the youngest. Yeah, probably.
Okay, gentlemen, Kyle, let's start with you. Do you think that you could see Paul Reubens as Luke Skywalker?
In New Hope.
There's a part of me that thinks it would be funny, but I don't know if it could be funny for like 70 hours as long as Luke Skywalker's.
So maybe he gets replaced
Life
after New
is-
Hope with
Dumbledore.
What? Mark Hamill?
yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay, so Kyle's saying no to Luke Skywalker. Ryan, what are you saying? Do you say yes or no to Luke Skywalker? Paul Reubens is like Luke Skywalker.
I can't see him as Luke Skywalker, like in the part where he throws away the saber and whatever the newer movie is like, you don't need this. Here goes the thing everyone loves.
I gotta scratch my ass.
All right, so Ryan.
I bet Paul Rubin could be Willy Wonka.
Oh,
Yeah.
but save it, Kyle. We'll come back around to you. So Brent is saying Luke Skywalker, and I'm hearing 2 no's. So no point for you, Brent. Ryan, it's on you. Which role would you cast Paul Reubens in if you had a choice?
Well, since my thing was taken just then, I would.
You were also going to say Luke Skywalker?
No, I was going to say Willy Wonka.
Oh, well, you can't say. He hasn't said it yet, so.
Yeah,
but
No,
Kyle's
okay.
gonna
choose
say.
a new one. Choose a new one.
Kyle's
Yeah.
gonna veto it.
Yeah, right.
He is, yeah. I would say Pennywise.
Okay. Like, we're talking Tim Curry Pennywise. That's
Well,
good.
yeah, but he
I
would
think
be,
he could do either of them.
He could
Yeah.
do it because he would be perfect, like the inviting, like clown thing, and he does have some darker, like acting ability. So it'd be interesting to see how he took that and to be like terrifying.
I'm sold.
Right. Yeah, you got my
I don't
vote.
need any more.
That's 3 then. Okay. Ryan gets a point for Pennywise.
Float.
All right, Kyle, back to you. Let's hear it.
You know, what came to mind for some reason was Meet the Parents.
Which role?
Greg Fokker.
Okay, so the straight man. Okay. I guess Ben Stiller's role, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I can see that. Where this is maybe cast him in a younger role, not and when Meet the Parents came out, right? Because he'd be a little too old for that.
Well, I think Ben Stiller was probably in his 40s when that movie came out.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're probably right. He's probably closer to his 40s. Okay, gentlemen, are we agreeing with it?
I could see it. Yeah.
Okay, Ryan saying Brent. What are you saying? I'm going to go ahead and give Kyle a point because I agree with it.
Who?
So
Willy Wonka. Yeah.
no, Greg Fokker from Meet the Fockers.
Hey, was that the
No,
son
for
or
Meet
the
the
dad?
That's the son. He's the Ben Stiller role. Have
Yeah,
have you just been sitting thinking about Paul Reubens there?
I don't think Meet the
Same.
Parents is a good one to end on. We could do better.
All right, Brent and Brian still will have one. So Carl gets a point for that. Brent, back to you. Your last role, last chance to get a point.
Morpheus in the Matrix.
Okay.
Jesus. All right.
That would actually be awesome.
I don't hate
Nothing
it.
except it's him.
I really don't want to vote for it, but I feel like I have to. Ryan, Kyle, what are you guys saying? Are we giving Brent a point?
I would
Yes.
enjoy watching it. So yes.
Okay. 4 yeses, Brent.
I think he would be good in that role. I think he kind of possesses a knowledge of the
Blockbuster
unknown.
of the year. Yeah.
He could have been. It would have been like probably that dude from Grandma's house, though, or Grandma's boy.
Oh, yeah, Grandma's boy. Yeah.
Oh, he'd be perfect for that role too.
Isn't that guy like a big star now? Isn't he in the Avatar movies?
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I would not know.
Gorney Weaver, I think.
Okay, Ryan. Last point to you, sir. Who are you going to cast Paul Reubens in?
So in Gladiator, the old gladiator who gives Commodus or whoever the wood sword originally, or the leather thing, like and he's like he's like an old
Yeah,
fat.
it's the wine
guy.
powder or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know,
Dad.
but like him.
Yeah, I would say him. Like the old gladiator that got freedom, and now he's like training other gladiators.
The old mentor gladiator from Gladiator is what Ryan is saying.
Yes.
I can't even remember who plays him, but
Commodus.
Oh, so wait, not Joaquin Phoenix's dad?
not
No.
Joaquin Phoenix. No. Not the king. No. The guy
No.
that's in the Gladiators that kind of like shows him what's what when he first comes in.
Oh, the veteran gladiator that won his
in
freedom.
Thor Ragnarok. The
He
guy
get-
that's made of rocks.
Yeah.
Yes, kind of. That's a similar role. Okay, so Ryan is saying the old gladiator. Are we giving him a point? Kyle, what do you say?
I just can't make that work in my head.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't even pull it in. I'd say it's Pee Wee Herman, so yes.
No, so Brent's saying yes, Kyle's saying no.
What's
Ooh,
the meaning of this episode?
I'm gonna say no. I don't see him in that role. Ryan does not get a
It's
point.
fair.
And I'll go back even and say he could play Truman.
You fucker! That ruins the whole game.
No, it doesn't. Kyle's going to win anyway.
Yeah, Kyle's gonna win. Actually, yeah. So Kyle, you win with 11 points. Ryan, you have 8. Brent, you have 4. Brent, I think you're worst showing on this show the entire run.
Yeah. Crushing those cans, baby.
So I got to take off 4 buttons. Is that how the rules were, right?
Yeah, make it like you're Jeff Goldblum.
Huh.
No, do the whole pose. Do the whole pose.
Don't I need a Shea Lounge?
I'm about to get busted like Pee Wee.
You're about to bust one.
I'm about to bust one.
All right, that's all for FILMWAR. We have a new mini-sode champion. All hail Kyle. They're taking home VHS copy of Big Top Pee Wee.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a very good movie. R.I.P. Paul Reubens.
R.I.P. Paul
Reubens.
Reubens. We will miss you. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at The FILMWAR, on Instagram at The FILMWAR Pod, and on our subreddit r/FILMWAR. Please watch our episodes on youtube.com/@FILMWAR or at thefilmwar.com. Rate us, share us, kiss us, thrill us. Rest in peace, Paul Reubens. We will see you on the next Bardo. Until then, any last words? Godspeed.
FILMWAR, a 1,000-yard stare production.